we're allowed to discriminate against a class of people.
Scott, if they can't produce evidence that this actually does, in fact, have an impact on readiness, I mean, how is this not then just discrimination?
Well, it's the opinion of the commander-in-chief, who, according to our Constitution, is the head of the military. I mean, regardless of anyone's opinion or anybody's, whatever side you're on, whether you're for it or against it, at some juncture, the president is the commander-in-chief of the military, and he has and should have broad latitude to determine how the armed forces should be operated. And so I think that's what he's doing here. I think that's ultimately what the court said today, was that the president is the commander-in-chief, and we gotta respect that under our Constitution.
But I mean,
So his argument is he's the president, he's in command of the military, and if he feels that this is a distraction, well, he can do it. He's the one in charge. Let's see if he holds that logic consistent.
To her point, if there's not a downside, and it's been going on for years now, and I mean, I'm just presenting your argument to them.
Yeah.
What is the argument other than Trump, Hegseth, just doesn't want trans people in the military?
Well, I mean, I think that the president, we'll ultimately see. I think that's why the court is allowing the president to move forward with this until it works itself through the court system. Maybe the Supreme Court will be the final arbiter here to say, yeah or nay, you can do this. But ultimately, I think the court is showcasing deference to the executive, saying that, look, you're the president, you're over the military. You do, for the most part, get to sort of dictate the standards of our military.
Notice how he's completely ducking the question. He doesn't want to address why they're doing this. He just wants to talk about, oh, well, the court said, and I know we have to see, and the court's like, he's ducking and diving. I wonder why.
And I don't really see how you can push back against that. Again, we'll see what happens in the court.
I can. I'm sorry, I can. What if the president wakes up tomorrow and says, I don't want any black people in the military? Do we give deference to him on that? Well, no, wait a second. Julie. It's not.
Julie, come on, Julie. We don't have a good answer for that. You're going to make us have to try to... come on, Julie. This is not comfortable for us. So we're just gonna pretend like it's so absurd. It's so absurd that we don't even have a response to it. We're just gonna say it's absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd. How dare you? This is a absurd comparison. It's not the same thing. Don't ask me any more questions. I just think it's absurd.
Not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous because you're discriminating against a group of people in a very similar way. No,
I knew you were going to say that. But
excuse me. Well, I'm glad you.
I'm going to leave this one alone today.
I'm curious. Why is it ridiculous? I mean, you just said the president should be the one.
Did you hear that other one? Said he's going to leave this alone today. Why is that? I shouldn't say totally comfortable because he's still kind of dodging on that. But he'll talk about, the court said this and Trump is commander-in-chief. But what about if you wanted to ban black people? I'm going to leave that one alone.
Who just decides.
Right.
So if he decides, he wakes up tomorrow and says, I think it's bad for morale, it's bad for cohesiveness, for there to be black people in the military, Latino people in the military, just in her hypothetical scenario, what's the difference between that and what we're seeing here?
I mean, are you really going to go down this ridiculous road?
I'm sorry.
Are you really gonna? Look at how they're just hiding from this, man. They don't want to talk about it at all. Oh, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But no. But what is it? What's the difference? Can you explain what the difference is? I mean, are you really gonna make me debase myself by saying the most retarded thing ever? Because there's nothing I could come up with that would even sound halfway decent. Like, are you really gonna force me to squirm in my seat? And why would you be squirming? If you really believe in what you're saying, why would you be squirming? Why would you just tell her, no, such and such and whatever, blah, blah, blah? Why don't you have a strong position that you say all kind of crazy stuff on the show, right? You got no problem saying crazy stuff on the show. Why all of a sudden you're like, oh, man, we're really gonna talk about this thing? Come on.
This is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous argument.
Well,
okay.
The president,
what they've already
the president and the
said about
secretary of Secretary of Defense have an argument here. They believe that readiness and unit cohesion and overall operations of the military are impacted by.
I just want you to note that he is running, right? When asked, could the president just say he wants to ban black people? There's not an answer. There isn't a yes he would, or no he wouldn't, or that would be right, or that would be wrong, or he's not even saying he would never do that. He's not even saying that. You could dodge it in that way and say the president would never do something like that because he's not racist and that's absurd. You could say that, but he doesn't want to touch it at all. He's just gonna say, "Oh, this is ridiculous." And now let's talk about what the courts have said instead of talking about what's been brought up. The other trick he could do is he could say, "Well, oh, I don't engage in hypotheticals."
By this, that is their opinion, and that is the opinion of the commander-in-chief, who the Constitution gives broad latitude to run the armed forces. So
the Constitution gives him broad latitude to do whatever he wants to do. Then why couldn't he just ban black people? Like, what's stopping him, bro? Nothing. That's why you can't answer the question. Because it destroys your argument. If he can ban transgender, then he can ban black people for the same reason that you claim he can ban transgender. Come on, man.
that's their opinion. You're allowed to have one. You're allowed to have one. You're also allowed to run for president and become commander-in-chief yourself. But until you do, he's the commander-in-chief.
I have to just say, I didn't hear an answer to the hypothetical, right? I just didn't hear it. I didn't. I mean, okay. The definition of discrimination, according to the American Psychological Association, discrimination is the unfair or prejudicial treatment of people or groups based on characteristics such as race, gender, age, or sexual orientation. What is the difference between,
I want you to note that in the definition, race is in there with sexual orientation. Race and sexual orientation are in there. Why would you want to extract just race as, well, race, that's protected. We can all agree on that. But sexual orientation, not so much. we can ban you for have the wrong sexual orientation. Just not for your skin color, obviously. We care about the skin color. Orientation, you gotta be heterosexual, man. It's a heterosexual country. It's a Christian nation. If you're not heterosexual, then screw you.
Prohibiting certain groups like transgender people from serving versus, people based on their race or even.
You see that look on his face? You see that look on his face? Like, man, I got nothing on this. She's still pushing this thing, man. I can't talk on this. I can't. My whole argument falls apart if I talk on this. If I try to engage, I'm gonna look so dumber than normal. There's certain lines I'm not willing to cross. I'm not gonna make myself look this dumb. Okay. You know what? She can't force me to answer this, so I'm just gonna keep saying, this is ridiculous. Come on. Do you really think that it's the same thing? Yeah, I'm not gonna complete my sentence. I'm just gonna sort of put little things out there like, the idea that, listen, this is absurd. Listen, let's think about this. Another incomplete thought. And the courts said...
Even their gender, frankly.
I personally think there's a difference, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Well,
he personally thinks there's a difference, and he's going to leave it at that. Yes, there's a difference between discriminating based on your gender, or based on your sex, or based on your sexual orientation. Right? There's different categories of discrimination, and everyone is different. So discriminating against one is always going to be different than discriminating against the other. That's a non-point. The sky is up. The ground is down. Fire is hot and ice is cold. Like, what are you saying?
Do you believe that race and... Are you saying that the quality of race and the quality of transgender are the same?
I'm just asking the question because...
Look at how he pauses. You think that the race and the quality of race and quality of gender are the same? Race is different than gender, just like sex is different than gender or sexual orientation. They're all different. They're all different, Scott.
Because I think you're making there's a distinction, but you're not explaining why.
No, I'm asking you. You guys brought up the hypothetical. Are you arguing that someone's race is the same as someone choosing to become transgender?
But your argument, you've made the argument twice that the commander-in-chief's opinion is all that matters. You've said that twice now.
Well, so under the Constitution, yes.
So if he wakes up tomorrow and says it's not okay to be gay or lesbian and serve, because that's his opinion, There's nothing to back that up. They meet the physical standards, they meet the intellectual standards, they have voluntarily decided to serve their country, to give their life for this country.
You mean this transgender person is the smartest one in this whole conversation? Able to articulate and completely deconstruct Mr. Scott Jennings' ridiculous argument? Look at how smart this person is. Cutting right to it. I mean, the host of the show is kind of dancing around. I mean, I appreciate that she's pushing back, but she ain't cutting straight down to it like this person is, man. Wow. Why again are we banning these people from the military again? I mean, between Scott here and this person, I think I would choose a person on the right for the military. I don't think we have much purpose for a weasel like.
So many of us don't have to. That it's the opinion without any basis in fact that's what matters more than the Constitution of equal rights and equal protection.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the
other. He quickly bailed. Well, and then he saw somebody was trying to say something. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you talk. Yeah. No. Go ahead. It's okay. Yeah.
Other thing, or there's a few things that bother me about this, and mostly it was the language of the policy, right? When you're reading at some of these words, transgender people as inherently untruthful, undisciplined, dishonorable. That's like a very weighty thing to say about people who are courageously deciding to protect this country. The other problem, Scott, is that it's never enough. It's bathrooms today. It's sports today. It's sports tomorrow. It's the military today.
No, it's also sports today, by the way.
Yeah, it is sports today. And
80% of Americans agree, by the way.
Oh, that's fine. And
this guy is the worst. The worst.